Let me go across live to Noam Shelev, senior journalist who joins us from Tel Aviv. Noam, thanks very much for joining us on Left, Right and Centre tonight. What is the situation on the ground right now? Because, Israel has declared a state of war. Gaza remains tense. Over 100 have been killed from both sides. But currently, what is the situation on the ground?
We're now 12 hours after the beginning of this surprise attack. And it was a great surprise. Israel was surprised. All the system failed. The intelligence, the police, the military, everything failed. And we've seen things that were not even conceivable as options. And for Hamas, it's a great victory, a great win. They managed to do something that I don't think they even planned to do so. And right now, we're still in the fog of war. I can tell you that we know for sure there are dozens of Israelis who were hijacked from Israel and taken on foot or by cars inside Gaza and are being held now by Hamas and will probably be used as an option blackmail to release Hamas prisoners from Israeli prisons. But that's just the beginning of it. Israel will have to go now into a very serious, very comprehensive military operation in Gaza, including, if I quote the voices we hear now from Israeli military persons, reoccupying the entire Gaza Strip. And that's a military operation that will be very painful for all sides concerned, will cost a lot of life. But something has to give, because today all rules were broken, all lines were changed. Israel was surprised, and now we'll have to do something. And we're just talking about the beginning in Gaza. The fear is that the fighting will also go to the northern border of Israel with Lebanon, Hezbollah, and in the West Bank. So we're just in the beginning
So,
now.
Noam, as you said, it's really the sense of fear is perhaps palpable when it comes to Israel, particularly the Gaza Strip. But as you said, it was a big surprise really for Israel. Do you think it's an intelligence failure, as you pointed out? Because it was a two-pronged attack in a sense. You had rockets being fired towards Israel and also, militants infiltrating through land as well. So how did that actually pan out?
We don't know. We just cannot understand how it happened. We have so many military forces on the border of Gaza every day. And we have so much intelligence gathering mechanisms, and everything failed. Sometimes around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, many hundreds of Hamas militants just cut the fence, broke through it with vehicles, with tractors, with motorcycles, and just attacked the local villages and started slaughtering people over there. In some cases, they took hostages. In one case, there's still ongoing barricading of terrorists with hostages in one of the kibbutzim, one of the villages near the border. This is something that we can't understand how it happened. And I'm sure it will be investigated a lot in the next few days and weeks. But it did happen, and Hamas was extremely, extremely successful in that. And the pictures coming from Gaza are simply terrible, because
absolutely, they're quite shocking in a sense. If you see the pictures of those rockets as well, over 5,000 rockets were fired, were fired towards Israel. But where do you see this conflict going from here? Because of course, Hamas has also said it's just the beginning. You have Netanyahu saying that Netanyahu virtually declaring a war. Where do you see this going from here?
I see it going to a war in which Israel is going to go into Gaza, send our military into Gaza. And I don't know where it's going to end. I know only how it begins. But this option was considered many times in the past, but not in this scale. And for Israel, one of the most important factors is its ability to warn its neighbors. Don't deal with us. Don't do things that you're going to be sorry for it. And now Israel has lost this edge and has to regain it, because we are surrounded by too many enemies who just look for the opportunity. And Israel will have to show that it's still strong, surprised, but strong, to be able to retaliate.
And Noam, as a journalist who's been covering the conflict in the past couple of years, almost the past decade, you've seen the conflict play out there between Israel and Palestine. What is really the cost of this conflict? Talk to us as a journalist, as somebody from Israel, because it's something that our Prime Minister Modi has also said, that this is not an era of war. What is really the cost, the human cost of war?
It's too soon to tell, but everybody will suffer. The people of Gaza, and there are 2 million people in Gaza, only a few thousands of militants. There are people, families, small, poor people who are going to remain without homes, without services, without anything. And so many fatalities in Israel, so many families killed, slaughtered, so many young people who went to a rock concert and were attacked and were butchered on site. This is something that Israel is very sensitive about. I'm not talking about the number of deaths. We don't deal with numbers. I'm talking about the way it's done, butchering, slaughtering. This is not a war. This is an act of terrorism. Hamas is not a military organization. It's a terrorist organization recognized as such by almost the entire world.
Yes.
And the scenes are simply terrible. And again, it's only the beginning. From here, nobody knows where it's going to head to.